The waiter was still pouring wine when she slid the envelope across the table. White, thick, legal, the kind of paper that ends lives quietly. I remember the way the candlelight flickered against her smile, too calm, too rehearsed, like she'd practiced it in a mirror. Across from me, her father didn't look surprised. He looked relieved. "We're done," she said, voice light, almost amused. "My dad's promoting my ex in your place." She laughed, cold, surgical. "Pack your trash." Her father nodded once, like he was approving a budget cut. "Clean out your desk tomorrow." Then they stood up. No shouting, no scene, just coats, chairs scraping back, and 3 people walking away from a marriage like it was expired milk. I stayed seated. I stayed still. That's the part they never understood about me. I don't move when I'm bleeding. I wait until I know who's holding the knife. We didn't start like this. We met when she was still pretending she didn't need her father's shadow to survive. She laughed easily back then. I was ambitious, sharp, rising fast. She said she loved that I wasn't intimidated by power. Her father owned half the city's construction contracts and the other half of its politicians. He called me son before we were engaged, gave me responsibility, trusted me with numbers men usually killed over. I built systems, quiet ones, clean ones. I didn't know I was also building my own insurance. The first betrayal wasn't loud. It never is. It was a dinner she missed, a call she didn't return, a look exchanged across the room that lasted half a second too long. Her ex, freshly divorced, suddenly back in the company, suddenly consulting. She said I was imagining things, so I started listening instead of asking. I noticed calendars wiped clean, emails forwarded and deleted. I noticed the way my access was trimmed, not revoked, just narrowed, like someone slowly closing a door so you don't hear the latch. The proof came on a Tuesday. It always does. Her phone buzzed while she was in the shower. One message. No name. Just a sentence that told me everything. Once he's gone, we're free. I didn't screenshot it. I didn't confront her. I memorized it. That night, I kissed her goodnight and began planning her funeral. Revenge isn't rage. Rage is sloppy. Revenge is accounting. I spent months pretending to lose ground. I let meetings happen without me, let my influence shrink on paper, while my fingerprints stayed everywhere else. I audited silently every shell company, every offshore account, every falsified cost overrun signed by my father-in-law's favorite executives. I documented it all, time-stamped, notarized, duplicated. I rerouted cash legally, shifted liabilities subtly, changed reporting structures so when the audits came, the story told itself. I also rewrote my marriage. The prenup she'd laughed at years ago, the one she barely read because she trusted her father's lawyers more than mine, it had clauses triggered by infidelity, clauses triggered by termination without cause, clauses that turned love into leverage. By the time our anniversary dinner arrived, I was already gone. She just didn't know it yet. The day after they told me to clean out my desk, I did. I smiled, shook hands, left nothing behind but a single envelope in the CEO's inbox, timed delivery, 2 hours after market close. Inside, a summary, concise, irrefutable. By morning, the board was awake. By noon, regulators were. By evening, the stock was in free fall. Her ex's promotion lasted 11 hours. I watched it all from my kitchen table, drinking coffee, listening to my phone stay perfectly silent. For 2 days. Then the voicemails started. 97 of them. Her voice broke somewhere around message 23. By 40, her father was shouting. By 70, lawyers were pleading. By 97, there was nothing left but static and fear. They finally understood who I really was. The confrontation happened in my apartment, not the penthouse we shared. I'd sold my half months ago. She stood in the doorway like a stranger wearing my wife's face. "We can fix this," she said, eyes red, makeup careless. "You didn't have to destroy everything." I looked at her calmly. "You destroyed it. I just stopped holding it up." Her father tried intimidation, old habits. "You think you're untouchable now?" he asked. I slid the final document across the table. Immunity, cooperation, signed. "I am," I said. "You're not." The room went quiet. That's when it hit them. Not the loss of money, not the arrests coming, the realization that they had mistaken silence for weakness. She reached for me. I stepped back. "Divorce papers," I reminded her. "Remember?" I left them there, surrounded by the wreckage of their certainty. Now, months later, I sleep better. Not because I won, but because I didn't lose myself trying to scream at people who only understand consequences. Betrayal taught me something valuable. Never confuse access with control. They laughed when they thought I was nothing. They panicked when they learned I was everything they stood on, and I walked away without raising my voice. Justice doesn't always shout. Sometimes it signs, files, and waits. Then it collects.